roots and radicals. So over here, you'll see a radical symbol. Now, inside of a radical, you could have numbers or you could have variables, but either way, whatever you put inside is going to come out as a root. So here I have the square root of 9. We know that the square root of 9 is going to be 3 because 3 times 3 is going to give me 9. I can also take the square root of variables. So the square root of x squared is going to give me x because I know that x times x is going to give me x squared. And that leads me to square roots. So when we talk about square roots, we also have to talk about perfect squares. And if you look right here, the area of a square is always going to be sides squared. So a is equal to s squared. So when we square something, what we're doing is we're multiplying it by itself. So I can do 1 times 1, that'll equal 1. So 1 is going to be a perfect square. I can do 2 times 2. If I multiply 2 by itself, I'm going to get 4. So 4 is called a perfect square. And I can do the same thing with any positive number or negative number, and I'll get a perfect square. So these are the perfect squares. And the number that I need to multiply by itself to get to the perfect square is going to be called the square root. So here, 9 is the perfect square, but 3 is going to be its square root. Now we can also take something and multiply it by itself twice, and we get perfect cubes. So what I can do is I can take a number and multiply it by itself twice. I'll get 3 times 3 times 3, and in this case, it's going to be 27. Since we're multiplying it 3 times, we call 27 a perfect cube. So 27 is a perfect cube. And then 3, the number that we had to use, is called the cube root. So over here, I have a graph of the function cube root of x. That's what its graph looks like. And then over here, if we ever have to find the volume of a cube, all we have to do is cube its side length. So if this side length is 5, then this side length is also 5, and then this side length is 5 as well. So 5 times 5 times 5 gives me 125, and that would be the volume of a cube.